Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. My goal is to teach as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchise owners, and 1099 income earners how they can save taxes legally. The Spendthrift Trust is in the IRS Tax Code 643B. It comes from England way back when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wife's head, said, "Hey, let me start my own church, the Church of England, so I can divorce my wives." What a nice guy. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went back to the 12th century of the Magna Carta. He said, "Oh, no, 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 King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law." It came to the colonies while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that will turn 365 years old in 2026. This July 4th, 2026, the United States is turning 250 years old. Woohoo! Happy birthday, United States. Our current tax structure went into effect February of 1913, and the only thing it's done since then is grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. The super rich families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. If they can save taxes, we can save taxes. Hi, my name is Sally Gimmon, and I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com. My quick personal story: on April 4th of 2020, my CPA called me to say congratulations. In 2019, with my mentor, I wholesaled 7 bank properties nationwide, paid off all my debt. Woohoo! My real estate group thought I was a rock star. If you remember 3 years ago, there was a Super Bowl commercial saying, "You're not a rock star." I wasn't. On April 4th, 2020, middle COVID, my CPA calls to say congratulations. My tax bracket went from 22% to 24%, and I owed $94,000 in short-term capital gains. I said to him, I only have $50,000 saved. He said, "Don't worry, Sally. Set up an appointment with me. We'll put you on a payment plan. You'll pay interest and penalties, but we'll get you taken care of." I'm like, "That's your solution?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Not good enough." So I had read an article on the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. It took me 5 months of research. In September of 2020, I started both my business and Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. I also started teaching in my Phoenix real estate group how other investors could save taxes. And my Thinking into Results coach, Susan Law, said, "Sally, you're playing too small. Start your own business and help more people." So in March of 2022, I started www.thetrustisyou.com, and now I get to help people all over the country. Now, to imagine saving 4, 5, maybe even 6 figures in taxes every single year. You can use this money to put back into your business or into your investments. You could pay off your mortgage. You could buy a new vehicle. You could take your family on a well-deserved vacation. You can give to your favorite charity, or you could save retirement. Imagine no one knowing what you own, where you own it, how much you own, what you do with it, and how much you sell it for. I didn't know this when I became a real excuse me. I didn't know this when I became a real estate investor. I had 6 LLCs, and no one told me 40% of LLCs, S corps, and C corps get sued every year. Anyone can go online to your Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission site of your state and research your LLCs by their name, by your own name, and find all the information. It's public information. Do you realize you have better odds of gambling in Las Vegas than having an LLC, S corp, or C corp? Those are some staggering odds. I Googled that. And imagine all lawsuits become frivolous. How much time, anxiety, worry, money just goes away. It's an amazing document that I want to teach as many people as possible. I call it The Secret of the Rich because only the rich people know about it. So let me share my screen with you. Dun, 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 dun. Where's my share? More tools, share. The Spendthrift Trust saves federal and state income taxes, keeps your information completely private, and no judgments if you're sued. Go down. Now, this is the 2026 federal income taxes. The reason I want to show you this is there are 4 ways to file your taxes. There's 7 different layers from 10% all the way down to 37%. The more money you make, the more money you pay. Most expensive way to file your taxes is single. I know this because I'm single right now. Then it's married filing, then it's head of household. You're divorced, but you have children 18 or younger in the household and you claim them. Then there's married filing separately. And then the cheapest way to file your taxes is married filing jointly. Check out what they did on January 1st of 2021. Married filing separately. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Silly Sally. Married filing separately matches filing single all the way up to the 36th percentile, the 36th tax bracket. If you are married and can do it, make sure you file married filing jointly because you will save double the amount in taxes just doing that alone. See, it's worth you watching this video just to learn that itself. Now, if you make $100,000 gross in 2026, depending on which tax group you're in, single or married filing separately, federal income taxes, you would at 90%, you would save $15,040. Head of household would save $13,410, and married filing jointly would save $11,504. So that's why I tell someone if they're making $100,000 in 1099 income, I will legally save them five figures in federal income taxes. This is a presentation that I did in Arizona. State income taxes are 2.5%. So adding that into single or married filing separately, it's $15,416. Head of household, you would save $13,745. And married filing jointly would save $11,701. If you go up to $200,000, the savings becomes even greater. Single or married filing separately, at federal taxes, you save $36,538. Head of household saves $34,498. And finally, married filing jointly is $30,031. Now, I live in North Carolina. Our state income taxes are a flat rate of 4.25%. So single or married filing separately, adding that together, you would save $38,090 every single year. Head of household, you would save $35,964. I'm not saying every single year, but just in 2026. These are 2026 numbers. And married filing jointly saves $31,359. Now, if the big elephant in the room, your CPA or your financial advisor probably will give you a memo that is dated August 9th of 2023 where the IRS, it's 15 pages long. Make sure they give you the full memo because on every single bottom of the page, it says this is not tax information. But usually they give you a little blurb about it. The IRS says they do not like tax code 643B. They do not like the irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor spendthrift trust. It's in a memo. Only Congress can change the tax code. Finally, the TSA agents are getting paid. My brother, who was a federal agent, who didn't get paid twice during his career, got out of the federal government because he was sick of it. So now these 5 elements, irrevocable means it goes from generation to generation. I was telling you about the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust that's called The Office. It's 7 generations old and has over 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number. Each individual family files a different 1041 document using the same EIN number, but the money is not commingled. Complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television. The living trust or the family trust. There's nothing wrong with the living trust or the family trust. It is designed to avoid probate, and that's it. What I'm talking about, the Spendthrift Trust, is not your mom and dad's trust. It's going to save you federal and state income taxes. It's going to keep your information 100% private. And I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Discretionary. Whoever is the trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries while they're alive, the trust and trustee are alive, and also from the grave. There's no contesting the will or nothing else. One of my beneficial trust clients, a husband and wife with 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles, has an adult daughter living in one of the apartments rent-free, and they're requiring her to pass 4 random drug tests per month. She was very indignant about this, and she actually took her mom and dad to federal court to sue them, saying it was unconstitutional. The judge read through the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, and he told her she had 2 options. Option A, move out, start paying her own rent. Option B, pass the 4 drug tests, and put salt into her wound. She had to pay for her parents' court cases and everything. I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Non-Grantor. This makes the trust 100% private. When you start either the business or the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, you're going to have someone who will never be a beneficiary and who will never be a trustee sign up to be the grantor or the settler for the trust. Then they sign themselves away and the trust becomes completely private. I personally use a family friend of mine, Roy. He knew me before I was born. Unfortunately, he's passed away since I started my trust in September of 2020. But still, they would never know what I have. And then the spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and it's won both times. I have a free class on www.thegreatdiscovery.com. When you go out there, register as a free learner, and the class is called Save U.S. Taxes. When you do go out there, you're going to find a presentation like this one, 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write, and 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content. If you are an attorney and you're thinking this sounds crazy, you need to read Scott Law. There are over 1 million active attorneys in the United States. Only 4% are trust attorneys. A textbook they study in law school is called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. If you're close to a law library, you can look this up in Black's Law Dictionary. Again, this is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B, and people just have not heard of it. Now, Paul Benson wrote 5 separate trusts to save specific taxes. Today, we're only going to talk about the business trusts to save 90% on federal income taxes and no longer pay state income taxes, and the beneficial trusts for all U.S. investors to stop paying taxes on profits. The other 3 trusts he wrote, I can sell. A charitable trust, I've sold several of those, probably about 10 of them, where several of my clients have been saving so much money, they want to give back to their communities. Then there's the Mineral Rights Trust. I've only sold 1 of those. One of my beneficial trust clients inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma. On the horse farm, there are 6 functioning oil wells. The revenue from the oil wells goes through the Mineral Rights Trust. So shale rights, coal rights, oil wells, they go through that instead of going through the business trust or the beneficial trust. And then the final trust that Paul Benson wrote is a senior trust that the senior is incapacitated. Maybe they had a stroke or dementia. It's a blind trust for the senior. Somebody in the family is in control of money. So the business trust, if you're making at least $100,000 a year in 1099 income, and you live in Florida, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, California, you will save 5 figures in taxes. 63 and 43, wow, did I just make up the United States bigger? In 43 states, you will stop paying state income taxes. This is actually a client of mine. He works as an expert witness. He files jointly with his wife, with them making, I think it was $160,000, yes, $160,000 a year. This is now 2026 numbers that we're using. 90% on federal income taxes saves him $22,687. And California state income taxes again saves him $7,393. He was set up, I feel sorry for him. His CPA set him up as an S corporation and he was getting paid as a W-2 income earner, the most expensive way of paying taxes. We suggested he shut down his S corp, which was costing him $600 extra per year. Got to save that, and now with the $29,918 he's saving in 2026, he can put that back into his business. He can pay off his mortgage. He can buy a new vehicle. He can take his family on a well-deserved vacation. He can give to his favorite charity or save for retirement. The business trust is for anyone making 1099 income. Listen up. Google says 36% of W-2 income earners have a side hustle. Almost guarantee you your side hustle is paying you in 1099 income. If you had get the business trust, your W-2 income would go on a 1040 tax return. You can take all the deductibles that you can on that. And then your 1099 income comes out and goes on the business trust, and you will file a 1041 tax return and save at least 90% on federal income taxes and no longer pay state income taxes year after year. Now, for me, my first property in this trust, very involved story. I was working as a Medicare broker in Phoenix and could not get the Friday before a wedding and the Monday after the wedding. My oldest nephew was getting married in Charlotte on October 27th, 2018. My parents drove from Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix, to Charlotte for the wedding. My dad calls me Thursday before the wedding, told me not to change my flight, but my mom was in the emergency room. I worked until Friday, 8 o'clock that night, being a Medicare broker, because open enrollments from October 5th through December 7th, where I actually sold 2 Medicare policies. I take a red eye from Sky Harbor Airport to Douglas Airport. I land at 7:20 in the morning. The groom and his younger brother and my dad meet me outside TSA. Family tradition, we go to IHOP for breakfast. The 2 guys go home back to their house. My dad takes me to the hospital to see my mom. I walk in and the priest was giving my mom last rites. I was not ready for that. She got septic of the blood. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital 15 months. My dad stayed with her the entire time. And her first month's Medicare bill, emergency room, and 1 month on the ventilator was $72,000. I was doing the mail in my mom and dad's kitchen, and right then and there, I knew I had a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. I had 2 car loans, 1 car because some idiot ran a red light and T-boned me. My car was 3 weeks old, and Silly Sally had the paperwork on her kitchen table because she had 4 weeks to fill out gap insurance. She hadn't done it yet. I had student loans because I went to graduate school. I had a mortgage. I hate my job, and I needed to change my life. So I became a real estate investor. I got this in July of 2020 for $20,000. It was a bank-owned reverse mortgage that was going to go auction for $50,000. That spread of $30,000 at 24% tax rate. With the Spendthrift Trust, I would save $7,110. I had to wait 13 months because of COVID, and when it finally went to auction on August 28th of 2021, the final bid was $64,326. Woohoo! Without lifting a hammer, I made $44,326, but even better, at 24% tax bracket, I got to save $10,368 in capital gains and put it into more real estate. Now, this is a chart for if you make $50,000 in a year versus $100,000 in a year, depending on your tax bracket, how much the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust will save you. Capital gains are split between short-term capital gains, which are your wholesaling, your fix and flipping, you're doing auction houses, tax liens, you're selling crypto, you're doing options trading or forex and trading. Long-term capital gains, I'll get to in a second, but they're either 15 or 20% when they're a year or more. Interest income taxes are for passive investors. If you have passive income, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where I'm the paper in the house. People pay me their mortgage at Bank of Sally. creative financing, seller financing, and forex investors, you get double tax, capital gains, and interest income taxes. You desperately need the beneficial trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're a futures trader, you're a commodities trader, or you're living on dividends. Again, depending on what your tax bracket is, how much you'll be saving. Rental income taxes. I don't care if you have short-term rentals like Airbnb vacation rentals. Maybe you have 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily real estate. Maybe you're in apartment real estate. Maybe you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. Yes, you can move a property on a depreciation schedule into the trust. Yes, you can move a property with cost averaging into the trust. Remember, all lawsuits become frivolous. So if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman, they cannot come after the owner. And another tax that's not on here is royalty income taxes. They have 7 different layers, but it's only between 10% and 35%. And again, royalties are when you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist. You have NFTs, copyrights, patents, or intellectual property. So again, with that 24%, you save $12,000 a year. At 24%, at $100,000 a year, you would save $24,000. My tax bracket was higher than that. So next slide. This is a win-win-win situation. When they stopped doing, after COVID, they tacked on, if you did not pay your mortgage during COVID, instead of having a 30-year mortgage, you got a 32-year mortgage. I contacted a friendly real estate agent in Waxhaw, North Carolina, and in my zip code, just my zip code, I had 224 houses on the pre-foreclosure list. You don't know why they're on it. The foreclosure means that they've gotten the final letter and they have 90 days and the sheriff's coming and they're going to dump their things on the street corner and get charged for it. Pre-foreclosure, maybe they missed a payment, maybe they were late, something happened. This house was in my neighborhood, a few houses down. They were moving from Waxhaw, Charlotte area, to Houston, and they were going to be put up in corporate housing for 3 months. They knew that they owed over $45,000 that they did not pay during COVID, plus their mortgage. They were looking to hire a real estate agent. The real estate agent gave them a list of 19 things to do. Remodel their kitchen, paint the interior, exterior of the house, pull up all the carpeting, pull up all the tile and everything else. They decided they were going to let the house go to foreclosure because they were so far behind in the mortgage. But when they got my notice, they contacted me. I said, have the movers come in, move them out. Husband and wife, 2 boys, 2 dogs. It was a lived-in house. The boys had fun. My real estate agent did an open house for 3 hours on a Saturday after they moved out. We had the list of 19 things and how much it was going to cost, what was wrong with the house, and we put the house at $100,000 below after repair value, what people are the top thing for selling the houses. We made sure every single neighbor around the house knew why the house was being put so low and asked them to come to the open house. The homeowners made $50,000. Both real estate agents got 3% for the selling price, and I paid off their mortgage, and I got to get $145,000 at 24% tax rate. I got to save $34,800 on that one property. Now, long-term capital gains. This came from a business broker. He actually, because he's an affiliate of mine, he made $2,000. The gentleman who sold his HVAC business bought a beneficial trust. The gentleman who bought the HVAC business bought a business trust. So they were selling 12 vehicles and technicians for $1.7 million. At 15% on April 15th of 2024, he got to save $250,000, $250,000 in long-term capital gains. Or at 20%, he got to save $340,000 in capital gains. His wife knew about the trust, did not know how much they were saving, and when she found out, she called me and said, that changes our retirement completely. Yes, it does. Now, one of the things that does happen every October, the IRS goes back 2 years, so October 2026, they're going to go and look at 1040 tax returns of 2024, and anyone who's on Medicare, they're going to add everything together. How much you're getting from Social Security, how much you're getting from pensions, how much you're getting from wages, if you did a 401k withdrawal, if you did a SEP withdrawal, if you have capital gains, interest income taxes, dividend income taxes, rental income taxes, or royalty income taxes, and add it all together. This is 2025 numbers. They haven't come out with 2026 numbers yet. If you're single and those digits are more than $106,000, you're paying income-related adjustable amount on your Part B and D. If you're married, it goes up to $212,000. This is the slide to show you how much people are saving. I helped a husband and wife save $72,000 in dividend income taxes, and he was 70, she was 68. I asked them how much they were paying in IRMA surcharges. He was unaware of that. His wife said, we're paying over $800 per person. Unfortunately, I could get them all the way down to $185 per person per month. Everybody pays out on Medicare, but I got to save them an extra $1,200 per month not paying IRMA surcharges because the trust files a 1041 tax return. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. If you would want to set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, you just need to go out to www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. And again, my free class on the Great Discovery is my first name and last name.com. You're going out to the Great Discovery, you're registering as a free learner, and then the class is called Save U.S. Taxes Legally. So let me get out of this. Let me stop sharing. I just want to say thank you for coming to learn the secret of the rich. Again, if you're a U.S. investor, you'll no longer pay taxes on any of your profits. And then if you are a U.S. business owner, an entrepreneur, a franchisee owner, or if you have 1099 income earners and you make at least $100,000 per year, you'll save 5 figures in federal income taxes legally. If you got questions, please watch this presentation again and set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, because everyone should know the secret of the rich. Have a beautiful week.